back to the Blissful Badger. Today, I was originally going to do a video about basing my blood angels, but I wasn't able to get the materials I needed to make that work. So I was like, okay, I'll change that up. I'll make a video on basing my Grey Knights. That should be easy, right? Just like my blood angels, my Grey Knights are already painted up and ready to be based. And I have the texture paste I wanted to use for them. I wanted a really nice dark color to counter the silver of the Grey Knights. And I was like, okay, I have that. I can do that. Let's get that video going. And so I started recording. I got the texture paste out, and I got the models together. I started putting down the texture paste, and it was a lot lighter than I was originally looking for. And so I was like, okay, what can I do for that? Well, I could make it so that it looked darker. I figure if I put a contrasting color down next to that texture paste, it should look good. So what about making indentations in the texture paint and using that so that lava could come through? I would put down a layer of the texture paint, and I would take a small icon of chaos, and I would make a little stamp in that texture paint. Except that didn't work either. And so now this is already the third time I've tried to make something work, basing models, and I'm still not coming up with anything that I could do. Texture paste just will not take those punches. I tried again an hour later to see if maybe it would harden and take to the punch a little bit better, and it still didn't work. And now this is already Monday evening. And, videos come out on Wednesday. So I'm thinking to myself, well, what can I do now? I don't have very much time. I've already put down texture paste on 8 of these models. Multiple ideas haven't worked yet. I need to get creative, more so than usual. So I looked in my bits box, and I had a few options. I definitely wanted to go with a chaos theme for the Grey Knight bases, and I found enough bits for chaos demons and a few mortals of chaos, but I figured it was still chaos theme. And so I cut them up into base size pieces, and Tuesday morning I got out there. It was nice and sunny, a little bit cold, and I got it primed. I got all of the bits primed before 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So yeah, now we're on a good roll. We have probably about 10 hours before the video needs to be up and edited, because I don't have more time than that to get this video together. So after 2 hours of painting these base pieces, I let them dry a little bit. Time for a walk, They need to dry anyway. I have a little bit something to eat. Extremely exciting for this video, I know, right? And then I get that texture paste back out. And with these new bits, I place 1 per base. And the transformation between a boring texture paste to a finished based model, huge difference. So the ones that I already had texture paste down, I glued the bit down, and then I went back later and covered it back up with more texture paste. The glue was showing a little bit shiny, and I also had to build up some of the underside so it looked like it was actually laying on a hill. So I took a couple of pieces and I positioned them neat, like there was a big battle and these are corpses on the ground. I think it looks pretty cool. And then when I went to the models that didn't already have texture paste down, I applied the texture paste a little bit thicker than I would normally, but I knew it would be worth it in the long run. And then I took the bit and I actually placed it into the texture paste. So it should hold it in place on its own. A little bit of it needed to be mounded up. I covered a few pieces in different areas so it looks like they've been trampled down and they're sinking into the terrain. And I am left with much better than I did have. So again, this is what they looked like before I started basing. A little bit of it could get touched up, but overall, they would be battle ready quality, so long as they had bases. And now, after the bases, I have this. And oh my, does the color contrast so well with the Grey Knights. They went from a fairly monochromatic silver to having such a vibrant pop of color on each of their bases. One thing I liked was having multiple different chaos bits, so I could span the color options throughout the army. I have Khorne red, Tzeentch blue and pink, a dark Slaaneshi color, and a putrid green for Nurgle. Overall, I think this army has one of the cooler bases that I've done, and this means I have 3 armies, 1,000 points battle ready now. I've gotten quite used to this texture paste, and I really do like it. And future projects will probably have some. I've used all 3 of the colors that I have, but I think the next basing is going to be something different. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was quite interesting to explore something on a short notice and have it come out so cool. And another day or so, I should have all of my Grey Knights based like this. So that's pretty cool. Not just 1,000 points, but my whole army should be based within a few days. Subscribe if you haven't, so that you don't miss any future videos. I also want to thank my patrons and supporters for making these videos possible. And until next time, I hope you find your bit of bliss.